So me and Metallic are having our Scottish evening, aren't we?
We are.
A Scottish meal. So what have we got there?
We have carrots, black pudding, haggis, mushrooms, and neeps and tatties.
What have we got there?
We have some buckfast. In a glass.
Yes.
I apologise.
We didn't want to, but you can't really drink two out of a bottle when you're trying to eat your dinner, can you? Suppose you could, but... So yeah, you might catch me eating my dinner a bit later. And then we're going to read a little bit of a...
Book written by a Scottish lady.
Yes. And then...
Which happens to be one of my favourite books.
Nice. Then we're going to watch Just a Boys Game.
We are.
Have ourselves a nice Scottish evening. I haven't had haggis for probably 20 years, but I liked it when I did have it. So let's have a little bit of haggis, shall we? Smells nice. Smells reminiscent of something.
Haggis, maybe?
But I can't say what. No, do you know what it reminds me of? It's nice, by the way. It reminds me of Scots broth.
Oh, really?
Scots broth soup. And there's probably the pearl barley in it or something. Has it got pearl barley? No, I don't.
No, I'd imagine it does. No, that's not got pearl barley.
No.
No, the black
No,
pudding.
that has got pearl barley.
Has it? I'm pretty sure the haggis will have pearl barley in it. To me, at the moment, where I'm stood here, that looks like stuffing. So all I want in that is sage and onion.
Lovely stuff. What's that down a bit of breakfast?
Lovely stuff, or is it wonderful stuff?
Wonderful stuff. Lovely stuff. It's all. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, my queen. It was lovely.
Cheers, my king. Thank you very much for the preparation of said meal.
You're welcome. It was lovely.
So, I'm going to read you a little bit of one of my favourite books. It's by a lady called Trudy Culross, and it's called It Gets Better After Cairo. Scotland, such a beautiful country. The March mornings were cold, crisp and clear, hills cloaked in soft green velvet and veiled in lilac mist. Sleepy villages nestled in silent valleys, while curling blue smoke drifted up into the still air, and I gazed at it all in wonder, sad that I'd turned my back on it for so many years. Strolling down the deserted lanes with my parents, scrunching withered leaves underfoot, I watched as Angus, who'd found a new home, sniffed ecstatically in the mossy banks. They'd been thrilled to hear that I was coming home, confused by my travelling plans. My poor mum wanted nothing more than for me to find a nice man and settle down. So much for that. Once she'd recovered from the shock of Simon's age, she'd even been rooting for him when he'd proposed. Now the news that I was setting out, alone, on a long journey had filled them both with quiet worry. I was full to bursting with all the things I wanted to say, all the confessions I would have liked to have made. For then at least they would understand why I needed to leave. But, of course, I wouldn't say any of it. It had taken me all this time to realise my parents weren't fools. How much did they know about my life already? How much had they guessed at? Enough, I could see it in their eyes, and I knew that they should be spared the gory details. Wasn't it sufficient that I was here and we were comfortable together at last? I found myself studying them more closely than I had done for a long time, and saw with dismay that I wasn't the only one that was getting older. My father had some money worries, and I realised from the weary droop of his shoulders that they were leaving their mark. My mother, still pretty, smiled at me as we walked along through the dappled sunshine. The strength still flowed from her, and that fierce determination. But when had her hair turned so completely snowy white? We never talked about love, the three of us. These were the sort of soppy discussions my dad couldn't even bear to witness on television programmes. Soap opera stuff, where emotions ran high, not like real life, our life, where a soft glance or a bit of gentle teasing were the only show of affection permitted. So I said none of the things I'd gone home to say. Not even that I loved them, which would have embarrassed them both no end, and then worried them even more. Instead we laughed and reminisced, and they enthused about the coming journey because in their quiet, intuitive way, they sensed I needed all the encouragement I could get. Even as I made little of it, insisting that I'd be home again before they knew it. I wondered if they guessed how afraid I was. Had they sensed I'd come home to say goodbye? The little 16-seater mail plane bounced over the tarmac and lifted easily off the runway at Dundee Airport. It swung out over the dark, brooding waters of the River Tay, hopped playfully over the bridge, and pointed its nose at the direction of the rising sun. As I strained for one last glimpse of Scotland, draped in early morning shadow. As we headed down the tiny runway, I'd clearly seen my folks huddled together against the cold, my mother's heather tweed coat a flash of colour against the grey barrier, as they waved goodbye, in the forlorn hope that I could see them. Then my throat tight with tears, I settled back into my seat and pondered that sad, sweet little weekend, knowing I'd made my peace with home as best I could, yet knowing that my best hadn't been nearly good enough.
Thank you, Mike Rain. Thanks for the nice evening.
Thank you, my king.
Yes, to Scotland.
To Scotland. And to the, what's it called? What are we watching? It's a boys' game.
Just a boys' game.
Just a boys' game. To Trudy Colross. Hold on,
Yes.
let me swig on that one.
To Trudy.
To Trudy Colross.
To Trudy Colross. Lovely.
And to Persia.
Yes. And to Persia and Rajamak and
hold
everyone
on.
else that we know is Scottish, but mostly...
And to Rajamak.
Mostly Sir Persia.
This bus is not going. And to all the other Scots. Cheryl, Tom, Fleshlight.
Yeah, to you all.
Love you.
Love you all.